Elton Jenkins and Christian Watson did not practice. Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, and Aaron Jones were limited.
Did Christian have a setback after yesterday's practice?
I knew that was going to be the first question. No, that's part of the plan. He ran a couple days in a row and was to give him a day of rest, and we'll see how he looks tomorrow.
What was the reasoning for not going with season captains this year and just doing game captains?
Well, if I wanted you to know that, I would have let you guys know. No, in all seriousness, I just think that there's, every year's a little bit different. And I think whether you're wearing a C on your chest, if you're a captain, you're a captain. That just doesn't leave when you take your jersey off. And so I wanted our guys to kind of go through the initial part of the season, then we'd reevaluate. And we're going with game captains because I think we do have a lot of great leaders. And I also want to see who's going to step up if we hit some adversity. I mean, we've had a loss, and who are going to be the leaders that kind of rise to the top during the tough times.
We were talking to Dontavian about the flea flicker yesterday, me and Spofford, and he mentioned that he learned that he was getting that play on Saturday, that he's going to get the first play of the game. I'm just kind of curious how that conversation goes with how you decide what the first play is going to be.
It just depends. Every week's a little bit different, but I think we decided earlier in the week. It's just he might not have gotten the memo. It's some of those things you just kind of talk as a staff, or you talk in the quarterback room and make some of those decisions. But he found out when we went out to the walkthrough.
You could have dialed that up for Romeo, your most experienced guy, Jaden, who did a lot more in training camp. What gave you the confidence to dial that up for Dontavian as a first play?
Well, it was more or less, we had no idea who necessarily it was going to go to. I mean, both guys were viable options. It's more or less dictated by the coverage. So,
And if by circumstance you were going to need a lot of these rookies were going to have to make immediate contributions, but go into the offseason, did you notice anything different about this rookie class collectively, just in terms of, as opposed to previous years, just in terms of their preparation level, readiness, anything like that?
I wouldn't say anything in particular. I think that, the initial exposure to them, you could tell that it was a talented bunch. And then as you get to learn them and you get to see how much they care about football and the work that they put in, and then it's got a chance to be a really special group.
From what I've seen in practice over the years, you really put a strong emphasis on timing and footwork in the passing game between quarterback and receiver. Where was that instilled in you when you started in the league? Was it Houston or Washington? And is that your biggest challenge right now with this young group?
I would say that kind of got instilled in me when I was playing football in college. We made a big emphasis on it. My college coach, our offensive coordinator, Jim Kiernan, was always on us about our footwork. And then, I always kind of taught that when I was coaching, whether it was at D2 ball or wherever. And then when you get around guys in the NFL, like Gary Kubiak and Kyle Shanahan, and the emphasis that they put on it, we used to have to write up we called it the quarterback pack. So each play had a paragraph of just the footwork, how you're going to progress through the read, what you like the plays for, what it's bad against, you just kind of really detail up all your pass concepts. And then getting with Coach Mike Shanahan in Washington, you can tell like all these guys, and I don't know where it stems back. It was probably Bill Walsh, I'm guessing, and the emphasis that he always put on it. And obviously both Coob and Coach Shanahan worked for Bill Walsh, but yeah, I think it's the foundation for great quarterback play. If you don't have good footwork, it's hard to play the position. I think, just guys that can, and it helps you avoid negative plays. If you have the timing down and hey, on one hitch I should throw it here, and if I get to my second hitch, I better get to my check down. It avoids holding on to the ball too long. And now, granted, there's a natural feel that you have to have within, especially in the pocket, of when you have more time and you don't have to be, so I guess stick to that quarterback pack, that you can kind of feel and just play. But yeah, it's something that we really stress, I would say, especially in the off season. Once you get to the season, I don't want to say it's less emphasized, but it's a way to hold the quarterbacks accountable in terms of the true timing of the play.
Have you seen the defense take your comments after the game that they shredded us and kept it pretty simple, but do you think they've taken that to heart now that you have a few practices under your belt?
Well, I think we're all critical of everything that we do. So I hope that whether I say it or not, I hope that that's not what motivates us.
Now, what kind of step has Quay Walker made, do you think, into this year?
I'd say he's off to a very good start to start the season. He's flying around. I just think he can recognize things. He's been in the league for a year. What's he have? 19 games under his belt now, or whatever it is. So the diagnostic ability, is that a word? His ability to see things and react in a timely fashion and know kind of the intricate details of all the calls. It helps you play faster and make more plays.
What'd you get out of Aaron Jones today, and how did he look?
He looked good, but we'll see how he comes in tomorrow and the next day and make a decision then.
It won't have Kamara or Jamal. What have you seen from, I guess, how they used Taysom last week and also Tony Jones?
Yeah, Tony came in and did a nice job. Obviously, Taysom's been doing it for a long time, and he's a threat because you're not quite sure where he's going to line up. Is he going to line up at tight end, at running back, at receiver, at quarterback? He can line up anywhere, and then they do a really good job of just putting some conflicts, in terms of he might be at quarterback. They might have a design run with a run alert. He could spit the ball out if he doesn't like what the look for the run. So, yeah, he's a weapon, that's for sure. You spend a lot of time preparing for a guy like that because he can throw it over your head. He's done it before. He started games in this league at quarterback. So he's got a guy that you got to have a very good plan for.